Here's 3 things that can go wrong with a rainwater tank. I know most manufacturers will tell you all the things, all the reasons that you need a rainwater tank and why they're good. And there's many reasons why you need a rainwater tank on your house or on your shed. But here right now, I've got 3 things that can go wrong with a poly rainwater tank. Now, just to be clear, these things can happen to any brand of rainwater tank. No matter how they're made, no matter where they're made, no matter how long the warranty is, no matter what the manufacturer might say about their rainwater tank. So number 1, a dead animal or bird poo on the roof of your house or your shed that's catching the rainwater. I know this doesn't sound good, and when it rains, yes, something of that dead animal or of the bird poo that's landed on your roof will get into your rainwater. The interesting point here is that with a good water filtration system, the water quality of your drinking water, your drinking rainwater from your rainwater tank, doesn't need to suffer, doesn't need to be affected. You can kill every bad thing in your rainwater and still have good quality drinking water coming out your tap inside. Of course, if you're using your rainwater to water the garden or the lawn, a good water filtration system isn't quite as important. Again, with bird poo on your roof, people have been drinking out of rainwater tanks with this happening for hundreds of years now, and with a half decent filtration system, you can have good quality drinking water. Can an animal get into your tank and die there? Well, while almost anything is possible, if you've got the strainer screwed on properly and if you've got your overflow plumbed correctly, almost nothing can get into your rainwater tank. But of course, with the strainer off, almost anything can get in. Or if you haven't plumbed your overflow correctly and you allow, one of the common ones is frogs getting into your rainwater tank. It's certainly known this to happen. Probably the worst I've heard of from a customer is a dead possum in a tank. Again, make sure you keep the strainer on. It certainly is a good idea. Number 2, algae in your rainwater tank. Can algae grow in my rainwater tank? Well, yes it can, and algae is not good stuff. It can be quite dangerous. The point I want to make here is that sunlight is what's needed to make algae grow, and if you keep sunlight out of your tank, you've got good quality drinking water. What could fix this really quickly is what comes with a rapid Plas rainwater tank is the dust cover that goes over the strainer. Now that cover, the pipe runs through that cover and then the water runs through the strainer into the tank. Keep that dust cover on and you stop any sunlight getting into your tank. Also make sure that your tank is up to Australian standards, because this means that the wall thickness and the colour pigment in the colour of the tank, make sure that no sunlight ever gets through the walls or the roof of your rainwater tank. Number 3, plants in the strainer. This one can be a real pain, and yes, it does take a little bit of maintenance from time to time to make sure you keep your strainer clean so that no plants end up growing in there. How this happens is that dust particles on the roof, dust on the roof flows down the gutter, ends up in your strainer. Now your strainer is quite fine, it's very fine, it stops most things getting through, that's what it's designed to do, and dust can start building up on that strainer. Now it doesn't take long before there's a bit of dirt builds up on there, and all it takes is a seed from a bird dropping on the roof, and that seed flows down, lands in that dirt, and before long you've got a good healthy plant flourishing in there. Obviously well watered every time it rains, and that continues to get bigger on the strainer. The dirt covers more of it, and the big issue here is that if this happens, the next rain event, the water will flow down and won't be able to flow through the strainer. It ends up blocking the strainer. And what this can cause is then the tank to overflow, or the water to, instead of flowing into the tank, 1, you're losing the water, and 2, it flows over the side of the strainer and down and starts washing away the base of the tank. Now, of course, if you've got a concrete base, it's probably not as critical, but a lot of people have a crusher dust or blue metal base, and this means that it can start washing that away, and that can be quite dangerous for the structural integrity of the tank. So how to fix this? Make sure you clean your strainer from time to time. Unscrew it, pull it out, give it a good clean, and screw it back in again. And again, make sure you put the dust cover on to stop any algae growing in your tank as well. Well, that's the 3 points or the 3 problems that can go wrong with a rainwater tank that I've got for you today. There's a number of other things, but I'd like to keep those to what can go wrong in the manufacturing of rainwater tanks. There's a number of things that can go wrong when we're making a rainwater tank. I'd like to keep that for a separate blog. So please jump on our website. There's a whole lot more information there on installation tips and tricks, and a whole lot of other interesting information that would be very valuable for you to read and watch if you're looking at buying a rainwater tank. So jump on the Plas website.